Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Shaymaa. Today I'm going to be talking to you about confidence when wearing hijab. Now, if you guys clicked on this video and thought it is a lesson on hijab, how to wear hijab, how not to wear hijab, what to do, what not to do, what's right, what's wrong, this is not the video, so you might as well just click back out. Or you can just stay and learn something. When things become a routine, it's important to go back and think about a few things. So, the first thing you want to think of is your initial reason for wearing hijab. Because when you're wearing it every day, it is a routine. You're wearing it every day of the year, every year of your life. Like, you're wearing it all the time, unless you've made decisions and, things along the way happen. Okay, so basically the super important thing is to go back and take a look at why you wore hijab. Why did you put on hijab? And this isn't, this isn't always the clear-cut reason why you're wearing hijab. Like, I'm not asking, okay, is hijab mandatory? Are you supposed to be wearing hijab? I'm asking, where's your connection? Why do you wear hijab? Not why do Muslim women wear hijab? Why do you wear hijab? You know what I'm saying? And you need to go back to that. And it should align with the reasons why Muslim women wear hijab. But you should also think about yourself and why you decided to wear hijab. As a 6-year-old child, I started wearing hijab, and it was because my mom wore hijab. It was because my sisters wore hijab. Because I looked up to them and I saw that, hijab was important to them and hijab was special to them. So naturally, hijab was special to me. I didn't know about, the rules of hijab and all that stuff. I was a 6-year-old kid. None of that stuff meant anything to me. So, as I grew up, that stuff became... and I started understanding that stuff. For myself, 19-year-old me still struggled with hijab. It was like something that I was still trying to understand and learn why we wore hijab, and so it took me a while, and I got the answer, and I learned a lot about it. I had to really sit down and really think about, why do I wear hijab and why do Muslim women wear hijab? And I had to ask myself that, because people kept asking me that and I didn't have a good answer for them. That's the thing. You have to have that answer for why do you wear hijab for other people along with yourself. Because sometimes my answer was, oh, it's a commandment from God, and it was just basically that. And it was so bland, and I had no connection to it, and it was just like, it's just a commandment from God. Now I can, go back and think, yeah, it's a commandment from God. It symbolizes my faith. When I wear this, I am representing every Muslim woman. It represents the love that I have for Islam. It's not just me representing Islam. It's also representing my, my love for Islam, because I am not afraid to, walk outside and resemble a Muslim woman. Within, gaining a connection with hijab, you also have to gain a connection with your religion itself. You can't just be like, oh, I'm going to put on this fabric and that's just that. You gotta really gain a connection with the religion itself. So you gotta do a little bit of, searching. Spiritual searching, Islamic searching, religious searching. You gotta do some learning within yourself, and that will bring you closer to your Lord, and it will give you a better relationship, and you'll gain a better connection with overall your hijab, your Lord, and all of that. So for me, it did take me a while, and I did have to do a little searching, and I did have to learn a little bit for myself, because I don't want to say I inherited my religion from my parents, but in a sense I kind of did, because my parents were Muslim and they had this huge passion for Islam, and they were so sure. I don't know why I'm getting emotional, but let's not do that. My parents, they were so sure of Islam. They were so confident with it, and I was just like, I know Islam. I am aware of all of this, but my connection with Islam isn't as strong as my parents' connection. Why? I'm not supposed to get emotional in this. Narwhal eating a bagel. Narwhal's eating a bagel. This is what happens when you put makeup on. I'm not trying to. Woo, Chile. Woo, Chile. What are we doing? My parents had a bigger connection with Islam. They already knew what they wanted. They've lived, and they've chosen Islam for themselves, so they kind of knew what they wanted with Islam and everything like that. And for me, I was like, I love Islam, I love my Lord, but I really need a connection, and I'm not getting that connection, and I don't have that connection, and I'm about to cry again, so I don't got the connection. And I was like, I really need to gain that connection with my Lord, because it's not there. And so basically, I had to do that. I had to do a little searching. I had to do a little understanding. And then from there, I was like, all right, bet. I got this. I'm ready. Like, so I just kind of like, within that, I kind of, I've been a long way coming, y'all. It's crazy. I feel like my iman might not be the strongest, but like, it's stronger than where I was at 19 years old. I'm going through it right now. I would literally like redo this video, but that's not authentic. Like, you need the authenticity. This is where the passion is rolling through. You guys are seeing that I am actually passionate about my religion. You guys, you get your bumps, you get your smooth roads, and here we are. So, let's move past that before I start crying again. After you've gained your own connection and you've kind of separated that from your parents and everything like that, because that's super important, especially as someone who was born and raised Muslim, you really have to gain your own connection separated from your parents, because parents, they already have that, they're already understanding what they want. They've already made their decision to become Muslim, because my parents are reverts, so they've already made their decision to become Muslim. I didn't make my decision to become Muslim. I was Muslim. I was born Muslim, of course, and then I was raised Muslim. So, here I am. I'm still learning. I'm still understanding. I still have a long way to go. But, here we are. You know what I'm saying? So once you've gotten that out the way, once you got your own connection with your religion, then you should be fine. And then you also want to make sure you're surrounding yourself with people who think like you. People who have the same opinions on hijab. So these go hand in hand. The one with building your connection. Now you have a strong connection with hijab. Now you got a strong connection with your Lord and everything like that. But then you have friends who don't have a strong connection with hijab, who don't have a strong connection with their Lord. And it's not nobody I know. So you have friends who don't have a strong connection with hijab, who don't have a strong connection with their Lord, and they're shoving their opinions on you. And they might not be shoving their opinions, but that person, that one friend that's always saying something, that always has something to say, whether you ask them or not. Like, you may have that a lot. Like, oh, I'm sick of hijab. I'm sick of wearing hijab. Like, it doesn't mean anything to me, or there's no proof of hijab being fard. Like, there's all this going on. You want to decide whether hearing all of that is important to you. Like, you can be friends with those type of people, but you also have to, if they are doing that, you have to make sure you're telling them, okay, like, this is my opinion on hijab, that's your opinion on hijab, keep that over there, I didn't ask you. Because if you have a good stance with hijab, then you're gonna be okay if you have those people like that, because you're gonna already have your strong stance in hijab, and you're not gonna fall for what anyone else is falling for. I get that a lot. I got that a few times. There was this one girl who was just shoving the fact that she was non-practicing Muslim, and I'm sitting here like, okay, whatever. But every time that I said anything about how I was proud of wearing hijab and how I was proud of being Muslim, she kind of tried to counter argue what I was saying with how she felt, and I'm like, okay, this is not the time or the place. Like, so sometimes that does happen, and you do have to like stand your ground. The other thing is, don't over exhaust yourself with answering uneducated questions. Like, you're not the spokesperson for all hijabis. You're not the spokesperson for all Muslims. And while you may represent Muslims and you may represent Islam by wearing hijab, and you know the outside world sees you as like, oh, the representative the person who represents Islam and the person who represents Muslims, you may not see yourself as that, but other people may see you as that. You might look like, you know, the spokesperson for all hijabis. You aren't, and you don't have to sit there and you don't have to listen to what anyone has to say. And you don't have to answer any question they have to ask you. I'm okay with someone being inquisitive with educated questions. If you're going to come to me and you're going to ask me about Islam, you're going to ask me about my hijab, and you have your own research ready to have a conversation with me, I'm all for it. Let's talk. But if you're coming to me and you're asking me, oh, are you hot in that? Do you have to wear that? Like, are you forced to wear that? Like, can you see your own hair? If you are being like that, I'm gonna start getting fed up with it. I am gonna feel tired, and just, you know, I might start responding in a rude way. So just in case you get caught off guard when I do respond rudely, you ask for it, because your questions were rude, your questions were uneducated, and they were insensitive, and you didn't even think about that. So, you know, there we have it. So I am sorry for coming off very emotional. I kind of it just took me back to a time where it was really rough for me, and how I was really trying to understand everything, and it was like I was in a new environment. I was 19 years old. I literally started going to college when I was 18, and like 19. Oof. With that being said, I hope you guys took something away from this video. You know, it was a lot. Yeah, if you guys have any other advice, any other, you know, comments that you may want to remind your young Muslim sisters, because this is pretty much geared toward the young Muslim sisters. If you have anything you want to say to them, put it in the comments below. I would love to read them, and I'm sure they will read them too. And yeah, stay tuned for more, guys. Bye.